Hi, this is Mr. Gooden again. We're going to talk about the planer today. The planer is used to take wood that has a certain thickness and make it thinner. And it does that by a cutter head that's in the center of the planer. It has an infeed roller and an outfeed roller. And the rollers, once you put it in, the rollers grab the wood, roll it through, and that cutter head that has knives on it cuts. And then it comes out the other side a little thinner than what it came into. Now it does that by adjusting the table. The table actually is the thing that will raise it up to make it thinner. To begin with the planer, what you have to do is measure the thickness of your wood. So you take your tape measure and you're going to measure the thickness, and I see that my thickness is 13/16, and which is a little over 3/4 of an inch. So then what I'm going to do is take this handle here and turn it clockwise and read my scale on the side where I'm at 13/16. Now this scale is not perfect, so you still always need a tape measure in your hand to measure once you've gone, or once the wood has passed through. Once you have your table height adjusted to the same thickness as your wood, which my wood was 13/16, so I have my table adjusted to 13/16, I need to turn my handle here clockwise one full turn. The reason why we do that is because our safety rule says that you cannot remove more than 1/16 of an inch at a time. And one full turn is 1/16. Okay, we have the table set. We have our crank one full turn. So we're going to remove 1/16 from our wood. The next thing we need to do is open up our vent. Make sure that's open up all the way, and then we need to turn the vacuum system on, which is in the back by the table saw. Once the vacuum is on, we're going to turn the power on down here. Make sure that our wood grain is going down. We're just going to feed it in. That was the first pass for this board, and you keep on doing that. Each time you're going to have to rotate or crank this handle one turn for each pass. And if you need to go down to a 1/2 inch, then you would need to do that multiple times until you get to a 1/2 inch. Remember that the scale on the planer is not as accurate as your tape measure, so make sure you have a tape measure in your hand. The safety rules for the planer: remove no more than 1/16 of an inch at a time. That's one full turn on the crank. Never plane wood that is already at a 1/4 inch or less for thickness. You need to have a piece that is at least 14 inches long. At least 14 inches long. You cannot have something that is less than 14 because we don't want it to get stuck inside the planer. You also need to make sure that your grain is pointing down. And the reason why that's important is because the cutter head comes this way, and we want our grain to be pointing down so we don't rip into the wood with the grain. Okay, we want that to be removed nice and clean. And then the last rule is to never stand directly behind the machine when you're using it. Always stand off to the side, just in case there's a kickback. We wouldn't want you to get hit by a piece of wood coming out of the machine. So stand away from the machine or to the side of the machine, usually on the power side, so you can turn it off if there's a problem that happens. Alright, that's it for the planer. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask Mrs. Heisey or myself during class, and we'll be glad to help you out.